Hi, I'm Nathaniel, and this is what you need to know today. So we're going to be talking about the latest things that are happening at HUMBL. I always like to bring you the most current things that are important, not necessarily the day-to-day chatter, but I like to accumulate it all into one video so that we can get a good idea of what's going on, right? So anyways, before I go any further though, I have to let you know I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I talk about on this channel are my own thoughts and opinions. And of course, you should always do your own research before investing in any stock. If you do need financial advice, please do not use mine. Use a financial advisor for that. So anyways, I provide information, so let's get right into the stock or the company HUMBL, right? So what's happening with them? Well, first of all, they are going to be launching their blocks. So blocks is a different company from HUMBL, but HUMBL is going to be using the blocks engine, you might say. That's going to get HUMBL to start moving, so to speak. And that makes the whole thing really special. Now, Brian Foote has been working on the blocks, which is just so happens to be a DAO, and it's an LLC. So what does that mean? Well, a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization, and the LLC, it happens to be the first DAO that's a actual registered legitimate business. Okay, so it's kind of a big deal. We have blockchain technology, which is what blocks is blockchain technology, and they've learned a way to create side blocks in order to cut down on gas fees. Now, I'm not talking about the gas that you put in your car. We're talking about for NFTs or transactions of that nature, and of cryptocurrency exchanges. So HUMBL is basically creating its own atmosphere, you might say. its own galaxy and a cycle that everything works within that cycle. So you need to buy something, sell something, you need a contract, all those type of things. All will work in that universe, you might say, of HUMBL with the blocks. Again, a blocks is a decentralized autonomous organization, so not one person controls or has the majority say in that organization. So what else? And that's big news, by the way. I mean, a lot of people are really excited about the blocks launching this Saturday at around 10 o'clock. So I'm sure there'll be lots of people on YouTube, Twitter, Spaces, and who knows what other social media there is out there, Facebook, they'll be talking about that. Now, like I said, Brian Foote's been very active this week with Twitter, keeping his informed of what's going on. So there was an article that came out that he put, not an article that came out, but that he put out about the B shares, and that his team has decided to reduce the sell of their shares. And you can read the article and everything, the information that he put out. It just shows that Brian really cares about the investors, and he wants all of us to succeed and be able to make some money. So that's great for all of us. I have total faith that Brian is looking out for his team, the long-term investors, as well as us newer investors. And I mean newer, I mean the last year or so that we've been investing for. All in all, it's a great thing. I love it. I'm super stoked and happy about it. So what are some of the other things that Brian Foote had tweeted about? Well, he just tweeted about this today, which is ironically enough because I just asked him a question about this earlier this week, and where we're at, where we stand on that, because we haven't heard anything about that. And lo and behold, about 45 minutes, an hour ago, Brian Foote shows him with the guys over there from Bexus, which is a bank which is in Latin America, who just so happens to do $7.8 billion worth of transactions yearly. So I just want to throw that out there. Big money, folks. So that means that, you know, HUMBL's already working with these. He's got like the Latin corridor already, because, you know, he's got connections already in Mexico. At the very beginning, early last year, he talked about how they piloted some test programs to see how much interest there would be and how many people would sign up. and they had their expectations was, you know, here, and they got like this much interest for this program that HUMBL is going to be rolling out. And what am I talking about? Well, that is the HUMBL hubs. So that's part of it, and the ability to transact and move money from one place to another without the high fees that we currently face. So no doubt the transactions that happen between the United States and Latin America are huge, because there's a lot of people that live in the United States that they send money to people in Mexico, South America, Central America. So that's a big deal. What other connections does HUMBL have in Latin America? Well, we have in Chile, the Aurora group, and they're going to be helping to expand out HUMBL's vision in that region. And then once it gets a good grasp in that region, of course, it's going to grow from there. Because Chile just so happens to be one of the more wealthier countries in South America, other countries that have less finances tend to want to mimic those who have more. So there's always those that are always wanting to get what other people have, right? In a sense. So hopefully you understand my logic on that. But basically, it's very strategic, making a connection there in Chile. Also, what else do we have going on? Well, Nick Carter is launching an NFT collection, so we look forward to seeing what that is all about. I think it's going to include maybe a few songs and likely some photography or something along those lines, so we'll have to wait to see, because I haven't seen it yet. It's not available. And then we got Spencer. He's a professional basketball player. He just did a podcast with Brian Foote about a week ago. I believe it was last week. And you know, the thing about Spencer is that he is somebody who's he sees the future of things and how things are going, right? So he was already working on a smart contract for his contracts for playing with the leagues and stuff like that, and he wanted that to be done that way. So he's already seeing the future of the blockchain and the smart contracts and all that kind of stuff. And so Brian Foote thought he would be a good candidate to have on his podcast, and so we were able to listen to that experience and all that. So we're real excited about that. What else do we have to look forward to? Well, of course, like I've mentioned before in other videos, I believe that 2022 is going to be the year that HUMBL really starts to accelerate. This was the year of building the building, right? We're building the building, and we've got the electrical going in, we have the HVAC going in, we got the plumbing going in, the windows, the flooring. You know, now we're going to start occupying the space, right? So we're at that stage where we're getting ready to occupy this space. And I think that all starts with the blocks. So that's the engine that's going to get things moving along in the direction that Brian Foote and his team wants. And so just a shout out there to you guys at HUMBL Nation over there, Brian Foote, Michelle, Glenn, all y'all are working so hard over there. You can tell. Don't give up. So you're doing a great job. What else we got? Well, there was that one thing I told you about, the speculation thing, right? This is speculative, but I think that the HUMBL hubs somehow is going to be like a franchise model in some fashion. And franchises traditionally give a business the opportunity to grow and to scale pretty quickly and fast. So you can imagine in these countries like in Africa or other regions around the world that maybe are smaller regions, they might make that a franchise location, and they might have several franchises within that corridor in order to grow out the brand quicker and faster and get the brand and name out there quicker. And so that's just speculative, but if they do that, they would be very strategic on their part, as again, franchises can grow very quickly, much quicker than a traditional business just growing on its own. Not to say that HUMBL and Brian Foote and his team couldn't make it happen, because they already have all these connections that they're building out their teams in several regions or areas. And then of course we have what's going on the other one with India. And of course we have Cyberbeat, that HUMBL partners with Cyberbeat to expand into Asia Pacific and Pan-Am vertical markets. So, and I think all these things are really going to start coming together. We're going to see all the pieces starting to align with them. Again, it's a big deal. We got HUMBL Studios. We got the financial part of it. You know, you need to get a loan, you know, credit card. We have the Blocks ETX, which is working great. Everyone's accounts are in the green, and we're all happy with that. And oh yeah, and there was some news too about Bitcoin. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with this, but just shows how this industry is going, right? So the banks are starting to look at how can they FDIC and use Bitcoin in the banks. Why do the banks want to do this? Well, first of all, the banks are probably afraid to lose control or whatever, because a lot of clients are starting to say, well, we want to buy cryptocurrency, and if you've ever tried doing that, you'll find that sometimes it's very difficult for your money to move from your bank to purchase cryptocurrency. It's like a deny. So I've had that experience. I know others that have as well. So that's just something to keep in mind. So lots of exciting things happening, and no doubt we're going to find out more things over the coming weeks and months. But we know again that some of the Olympic athletes next year and in the coming years are going to be representing the HUMBL and the HUMBL brand. So that has to mean only one thing. That has to mean that they're planning on expanding rapidly in the coming year and years after that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope it was educational for you and you got something out of it. I'm Nathaniel, and this is what you need to know today.